Good morning, everyone. Today I felt like taking y'all through a full day of eating. I got a little bit of a late start this morning. It is currently 11:23 in the morning, but I look forward to breakfast every day, so let me show you what I'm going to have. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to start off with some egg beaters. Great macros on these. Macros for this, for one serving, is 0 fat, less than 1 gram of carb, and 4 grams of protein. It's basically just a good filler instead of whole eggs, which I'm still having whole eggs, but because of this I won't have to make as many. So one serving is 46 grams. Let's change the scale to grams. Yep. Perfect. Exactly 46. And then we'll go ahead and add our 2 whole eggs. And then we're going to add 1 serving of pico, which is 2 tablespoons. One, 2. And then there's other stuff that I'm going to be adding to this later, but we're not there yet. Alright, now for a little bit more carbs, what we're going to eat is some low-fat Eggo waffles. These are actually really good. The macros on these is 1 serving is 2 waffles. Total is 2.5 grams of fat, 27 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. Absolutely love these waffles. And put that in there. Now I'm not going to start the toaster yet because the eggs are going to it takes a little bit to get the pan hot. So when I feel like I'm about halfway through the eggs, I'll go ahead and push this down because I don't like my waffles cooked to like a real hard crisp. I like them still soft. Alright, so while I'm waiting on the eggs to cook, I'm going to go ahead and start sipping on my Monster. Macros on these is 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sugar, only 2 grams of carbs. Now, this can is classified as 2 servings, so we will be having 4 grams of carbs. But it's a good amount of caffeine. Also, what's the caffeine? Caffeine, I believe, is 160 milligrams worth of caffeine. It's good. I like it. Tastes great. Now, a little tip on the eggs. Pretty much how I cook the eggs is I start my stove off on high and then I lower it to about 5 and let them kind of start slow cooking. Once the eggs start cooking, always keep them moving. That skin that you get from eggs, if you let it sit too long, if you keep it moving, you ain't gonna have that nasty. So let me go ahead and start sipping on the Monster. Alright, so the eggs are done, and actually the waffles just popped up pretty much the same time these finished. So, it's good timing. Make sure all around that your food is hot. Alright, now, to top the eggs, because, well, this is a little plain, we're going to put some salsa on it. Macros for this is 0 fat, 2 carb, 0 protein. Serving size is 2 tablespoons. We're going to put 1 serving. Boom. And then we're going to put a little bit of Frank's Red Hot. Just a little bit. I'm a little bit of a wuss. Woo! It's going to be a hot breakfast. So now for my waffles, like I told you, I like them very lightly toasted, just till they're cooked. You can see there's like no brown stuff on them. What I like to do is I put a little bit of, I can't believe it's not butter, spray. Macros for this is 0 fat, 0 carbs, 0 protein. It's a good alternative to butter, and it tastes great. Don't overdo it, just enough. And then, well, you can't have waffles or pancakes without syrup. The thing is with syrup, though, you gotta be very careful. It's very high in sugar. This one I found at Walmart. It's Maple Grove Farms. It's a low-calorie syrup, sugar-free, which is a big one. Macros for this, for one serving, is 0 fat, 6 carb, and 0 protein. Serving size is a 1/4 cup, so that's what we're gonna do. Cup. Bam. Woohoo! So good. Breakfast is now complete. Alright, so that was my pretty much everyday breakfast. I typically make that every single day. My current macros for that was 20 grams of protein, 47 carbs, 5 fiber, and 15 fat. Alright, so it is now 2:44 p.m. and I'm absolutely starving. I've been working in the yard all morning and I've worked up a serious appetite. So let me show you what I'm having. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start on is I have some shrimp left over. I bought this bag for dinner that I made last night and I didn't use it all. So now I'm just going to go ahead and make the rest. I'm not going to weigh it frozen because it's just going to add weight from the ice and everything on it. We're going to cook it first and then we'll weigh it out. But first thing first, I almost forgot for the second time today. Got a little bit of non-stick spray. Spray that on there. And just dump in the shrimp. It's not a lot. I mean, that's maybe going to be 2 ounces cooked if I'm lucky. So we're going to make that up with the pasta. To cook this, I'm going to turn on the heat. I'm going to initially start it on high just to get the pan hot, and then I'm going to turn the heat down, and I'm going to keep it covered the entire time. Let me grab the cover. Alright, so we're going to put the cover on it, and we just let it sit. After it's somewhat cooked and it's not frozen anymore, then I'll season it. There's really no point of seasoning it when it's frozen because it's not going to penetrate. Alright, so now for the carb source, I just got some regular angel hair pasta from Walmart. Serving size for this is 2 ounces dry, so not cooked. So I'm going to eat 2 servings of it, so I need 4 ounces. Make sure your scale is tared. Alright, so now we're at 4 ounces of non-cooked pasta. Alright, so now the last thing that's going to be a part of this meal is just some traditional spaghetti sauce from Ragu. I'm just going to do 1 serving of this, which is 125 grams. We're just slightly past, but that's okay. I'm not too particular about it. That ain't much. Alright, so as you can see, there actually really isn't a lot of shrimp once it starts cooking. Shrimp shrink really bad when you cook them. But I'm going to say they're about ready to be seasoned. So I have 3 seasonings I'm going to use. I'm going to use adobo. You will not go wrong with this seasoning, I promise. Mrs. Dash, any of the seasonings from this company is absolutely amazing, and it's also salt-free. This is the lemon pepper. And I don't cook a single meal without garlic, so I got some garlic and parsley. Alright, so now we're just going to turn the heat down and let that cook for a little bit. Alright, so the noodles are now done. Let's go ahead and add those. Alright, now that we have the pasta, we're going to add the sauce. I almost did forget one thing. I am going to add a little bit of Frank's Red Hot. And that is lunch. And that completes meal number 2. Alright, so I just want to update you where my macros are now after meal number 2. I am at 51 grams of protein, 142 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fiber, and 20 grams of fat. And that's where I'm at for the day. It is currently 7:23 p.m. Dinner on Sundays takes a lot longer to cook because I prep for lunches throughout the entire week. So, and then I eat whatever's left over. That's what I eat for dinner that night. Well, it takes probably approximately a little over an hour to cook it all. I'm starving. I don't feel like waiting that long. So I'm going to go ahead and eat a Power Crunch bar. This is the vanilla or the French vanilla cream. Outstanding. Now, they're not very filling, but like, they don't fill you up for a long period of time. The macros on these are absolutely outstanding. When you start eating protein bars, they can be loaded with sugar, extremely high in carbs, but this is outstanding. The macros is 13 grams of fat, 8 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of protein. And I'm telling you, it's like cheating. They are so freaking good. You got to try it. Alright, so it's time to go ahead and cook dinner. I have everything laid out, make it a little bit quicker. I've noticed I've gone in a little too much probably detail with breakfast and lunch. So this is going to be like a speed round, alright? Now, also keep in mind that this is a lot of food, but it is also my lunch for the entire week. Hopefully I'll get 7 days and dinner out of it. I might not have enough chicken, but we'll see. I might have to skimp out a little bit on chicken tonight. So what we got here is a whole package of chicken. Now the plan with this is what we're going to do is we're going to take my cooking scissors. Yes, they are made for doing this. We're going to cut all the fat off, and then we're going to cut them into small pieces so it's easier to cook, and it is also easier to eat. I got to cut it up when it's in my dish. Then we're going to put it in this bowl. We're going to season it with these 3 seasonings. I got Mrs. Dash Southwest Chipotle. It's delicious. Adobo. You've already seen me use this already. And then I've ran out of the other garlic and parsley, so I have Mrs. Dash salt-free garlic and herb, or herb. Bleh. Then I have Minute Maid brown rice. I have 4 cups with 4 cups of water. When you cook brown rice, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. At least in my opinion, excuse me, the box doesn't say that, but I found out a 1-to-1 ratio works a lot better. Then I have an entire can of black beans. This doesn't give you 2 ounces like I would like, but it typically gives you about 1.5 ounces for 7 days. So that works out pretty good. I'll be a little short in the black beans, but it is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. Like I said before, it does take me about an hour to cook it all. Maybe a little less. I mean, if you count prep time, it's definitely in an hour. But I already got it all laid out, so I can go ahead and kind of speed up the process. Alright, so after it's all cooked, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Alright, so here is the final product. I put 4 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken, seasoned with the seasons that I showed you just a minute ago. I have the 1 cup of brown rice and 1.5 ounces of black beans. I put a little bit of that spray butter I used earlier this morning, and as you can guess, I used Frank's Red Hot sauce. Alright, meal number 3 or 4, if you want to count that bar as a meal, is complete. I did ended up adding a little bit of bullseye barbecue sauce for the chicken, but that's it. Alright, so I got my lunches packed for the for 6 days because I'm missing a container, and I made myself a bowl of cereal. We've got 2 servings of Fruit Loops and 4 ounces of almond milk. Alright, so with the cereal and dinner, my macros are at 99 grams of protein, 272 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat. I still have 39 grams of protein left, 3 grams of carbs, and 21 grams of fat left. In reality, I'm not going to hit my fat goal, but that's fine. Well, I'll probably actually end up drinking a protein shake to meet my protein goal. And I have Optimum Nutrition's Hydro Whey, and it falls under that category of 3 grams of carbs. So that's what I'm going to have probably within another 30 minutes to an hour after the cereal, and then my macros will be complete.